Welcome to the Four Corners series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 2nd of July 1919. And as usual, I'm going to start with a short overview of the current state of the Civil War, and probably the best way to describe it is chaos. And I'd also like to say a big thank you to the person who posted a comment about Finland's involvement in the Civil War. And after doing quite a lot of reading, I've got a feeling everybody had an angle in here, because I've subsequently discovered that we've had British, American, Japanese troops involved with the White forces, providing them weapons. Some of them were even fighting. They were providing aircraft. And generally, the whole of Russia seemed to be in constant turmoil. And at this point in 1919, the Bolsheviks still held what you would call Central European Russia, but the White forces held the east and down round what is now Ukraine. But there was a lot of battles going on. But as the year progressed, what happens is the Bolsheviks push back the White forces in the direction of Siberia, and those forces descend into chaos. But rather than it just being a one-on-one battle, what happens is other forces get involved with their own interests. And therefore, that whole battlefront seems to descend into chaos. And there's even a couple of peasant revolts in there, mixed in there as well, because there were so many pretty horrific atrocities going on. And the poor old peasants were caught in the middle. Down round the Ukraine, you had, again, almost a three-way battle, because you had the Bolsheviks fighting off an attack from White forces that were pushing towards Moscow. And then you had another group called the Blacks, I think they were roughly allied with the Bolsheviks, and they were attacking the Whites on their own agenda. I think they were trying to liberate Ukraine. I must admit, it's becoming a very interesting area to research, but trying to untangle all the different threads of what was going on. Also, another complication that started to occur now is that all armies seem to suffer mass desertions who went over to the other side, and there seem to be cases where you had troops that fought for the Bolsheviks, they fought for the White forces, they fought for other factions, then they went back to the Bolsheviks, and desertion from all the different armies seemed to be a big issue. And a further complication was actually the Spanish flu, which arrived in Russia according to mythology, from German troops that pushed into Russia on an offensive. And the Spanish flu spread very quickly across Russia, killing hundreds of thousands of people. I found it very difficult to find an exact total, but that seems to be the general consensus of all the casualties during the Civil War. Trying to get accurate figures over the casualties on different sides and the number of civilian casualties seems to be pretty difficult to find out. So this is where I'm going to leave it, because I can't give you any detail, because it's just mind-blowing. So what we're going to do is just get straight down into the gameplay. And from the perspective of the Civil War, I'm just going to stick to the parameters that I set last time, that we're exporting food to try and feed the armies. And just to give you a bit of an update, we're on the 6th of July, and I'll show you all the warehouses. In fact, I'm just going to use the overlay and run it now. And I keep looking to the left now, because just prior to making this video, I did a video on the new interface, and I spent about 10 hours playing on the new interface on my Seven Crosses series. Flipping back now has been a little bit of a problem, but you can see here we've got our silos here are empty and our silos over here are empty. So we're starting to move down to the point of starvation, but we do have an option in the sense that if things get a bit desperate, we can literally turn off the microbrewery, because we don't need to export anything that's manufactured from crops. And what we better do now is just move on and give a bit of an update, and also give me a chance to catch up and find out what's going on here. I remember putting this road in because I wanted to get a little bit better there. I think we're just going to speed the game up. Up here, the wood pitch plant is making good progress. It just needs bricks and boards, which are being shipped up here. And of course, the bricks are being produced locally as well. I don't know, 66 tons of bricks are going to be adequate, because we're not going to export them. Over here, I think I'm building another distribution office here, because one problem we got at the moment is I don't think I've actually got the vehicles actually pick up these crops. So truthfully, we need this built. But what I can do at a pinch is change this office here, because I don't think this office has been fully assigned. In fact, I think I will just add you to this as a pickup. And what I'll probably do is just put you in as a drop-off because just in case this doesn't get built. Over here, things are going reasonably well. And again, just want to check the food crops. Somebody did post a comment about putting in a feeding station here to improve the efficiency, and I think that's probably a pretty good idea. So we're just going to come in here, find the gas station if I can find it. I must admit the new system for managing mods in the new update is a little bit better than this. I think we're going to go straight for a mud road because I don't know. No, we're actually putting a gravel road here. I'm actually starting to count the number of clicks now when I do things, and we're just going to Toltus Bike Bulk Crew, New Hope Road Crew. Oh, they're all picking up on that. That's good. Over here, what we're still building the charcoal kilns to get coal. This has been built. This is the new concrete mixer, but we need cement. And what I've got here is the calcium furnace, but we can't make cement until we've actually got this finished. So in some ways, once this is finished and once the bitumen plant over here is finished, we should have a reasonable level of self-sufficiency that will then allow us to start thinking about expanding out here, because this is very much the direction I do want to go in, because I think getting some coal and iron production going is going to be quite important. Of course, we've also got this down here that we need to build. But of course, the real problem we've got at the moment is shortages due to steel. And if we run out of crops, then we won't have any production at all. You can see here, I think at the moment I'm just knocking out, I think these are, that's what dumpers. Why am I making dumpers? I mean, we got some covered holes. Oh, we got a new vehicle type. Now, one of these are the B4 excavators. Let me just take a look, because we've got a bit of money and I wouldn't mind buying those. Now, these are Eris steam cranes. Now, I'm a bit reluctant to buy one of these simply because, oh no, these are an excavator and a bulldozer, but I was hoping to get the B4s. And in fact, I think I will wait until the B4s come along just to see, so just so I can do a comparison on these. Because what I'm going to need to do is buy at least 2, possibly 3 of these, because the Russian version of those excavators don't come into quite some time. But we're going to really need those to try and speed up some of our construction process, especially the road building. And what we're going to need to do is find a place to put them. Actually, I'm thinking what we'll probably do is bring them out here and replace some of the excavators in this area. And what we're going to do now is just have a look. You're building that apartment block and you're building that. We've got nothing here. I think we're just assign you to that as a support, because you've got an excavator in here, and hopefully he will come. Traffic jam. Oh, we've got a traffic jam. Oh, that's okay. They're meant to be in a traffic jam because, of course, we're not using lots of gravel at the moment, which is in some ways is good. Because another thing I would like to do is these guys are actually spare. What I would like to do is actually start building this up as a road. In fact, I think I'm going to do it. And we're going to start this end. I don't know how far. Wow. Wow. That is a long road. Right, it's already been picked up. You've picked it up as well. Because eventually what we're going to be doing is coming out here, as somebody suggested a long time ago. There's a very strong source of gravel here. And what I'd like to do is get a major gravel extraction area going here with a rail connection, which will then be able to send gravel out across the maps. Because these small areas here are never going to be big enough to supply the needs of a growing economy. So we're just going to come in here and we'll build that up there. It won't affect these guys here. It will just mean that all the traffic for a long time are going to come down here. And what that will do is clear this traffic jam, because they're all going to be queuing up here to pick up tons and tons of gravel. Yeah, we need 158 tons of gravel there, which I think translates into that 3 tons, 158. You're probably talking about 50 wagon loads at least of gravel to deliver that. But it would be okay. What are you? I think you've got everybody involved, haven't you? Are you on this? No, you're not. Okay, we're just going to add you to there, because you'd probably be quite happy. Actually, you're not on there as well, so I'm just going to get you there. This is nearly finished, so we'll be able to take this temporary road out. And I think that will make a difference. I'd say the main reason I wanted to fill this in was more for respect to fire, because I wanted the extra speed, especially in winter, because losing anything up here could be quite crucial. Just going to come here. But this is being built. Right, we've now started harvesting. Where's these guys? Okay, these don't seem to have. I'm going to add you onto this field as well. You guys unload Titus silo 1. I want to make sure that this one is set up a little bit. New Hope silo. Titus. Where is Titus? That's Titus silos 2. I want to check to make sure that is set. Yeah, unload, unload, unload. For some reason these guys are off to a little bit of a slow start. I don't think these fields are quite ready yet, so right, this is the farmyard. This is now finished, so what we need to do is get over to here. I'm just going to pick up all the covered holes I can get. I'm going to put you into there. Don't know if I've got any more in here. I think I've got some more in here. Yep. Covered hole. I think that's probably enough to be going on with. Just going to set you as the unload. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll probably just add those on as well, and then just make sure these guys are. Oh no, load. These are all load, 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 load. And we certainly want that 90%. I don't think, what's that, 100, 200, 300, 400. But what we will do is add this as well as an unload. 20%. And probably don't want to, actually we could put it onto here as well. And what this guy should do now is you go and give an assist with these, and we'll start gathering the crops. That's actually we can do is get you to unload there as well, 90%. And I don't think well, you're on here as well, so just yeah. I think the problem was that this never got enough crops at the end of the last cycle, and there wasn't anything to kind of give it to them, which is, as again, I think crops is going to be a little bit of a challenge going forward, but then that's the idea of this playthrough. What we got here. Got no over 21s at the moment, but I don't think it's going to be long. Oh no, we got a little bit of space. Just really need this built, but we need a bit of steel. I don't think, truth be known, we probably don't have the steel now. So that's going to be a major stumbling block. Have a look. No, we're out of steel. That's the wind turbine. And because we're manufacturing up here, we've only got 9.92 of steel, and we're probably out of crops as well now. Yep, we've got no crops. So we're effectively paralyzed now due to the fact of lack of steel. But that is the whole idea of playing this Let's Play, because in this period, that is the type of thing that would happen, that people would be absolutely desperate for resources. And yeah, so these need 13 tons of steel, and this needs this needs 3.1 tons of steel. Now I'm not going to cheat, guys. We're just going to keep pushing through because the season has started. But what I will do is we're going to shut down this dumper, close the current production down, so that we can actually build up some steel as and when crops are delivered here. Because I don't think I actually need dumpers at the moment. I'm not over too sure why I was actually building them. Was it be for a construction office? Was I building a construction office? What we got here? Got bulk supply here. This is absolutely full of dumpers. I don't really need dumpers here. And this guy is assigned to the charcoal kilns. I think what we can do now is start possibly thinking about some groundworks here while this is being built, because wow, I'm definitely going to need those more mechanized dumpers. Let me just check something stats wise. That wise, let me just see. Excavator here. This is level 3. So I think if we bought one of the got the Erie steam crane here, and we got the Erie excavator bulldozer, which is, see, this has only got speed level 4. The steam crane would be quite nice to get. But that is actually a crane, isn't it? Can we afford to flash out and get a crane? This is a horse-drawn excavator. What we got here? This is an excavator. What is this? This is a passenger pickup. I think what I am going to do is I am going to buy one of these steam cranes. And I'm going to buy a steam crane. This is 20, this is 18. And actually, so what's this difference? This is 11 tons, 15 kilometers an hour. And this is 20. Yeah, we're going to buy one of these. And what we're going to do is, this is going to have to chuggle all the way over to, where is it? Here. And we're just going to watch it chuggling through. We call very primitive a truck. So a moment, we're just going to watch this trundle through. Unfortunately, the tracks aren't animated, but that's because it's actually a tracked vehicle as opposed to the wheels. Of course, we got a nice close-up of the. But this is our first mechanized construction thing. In fact, the amount of because it's steam train, this should actually be powered by coal. But I think that's probably a little bit too detailed for the game at the moment. So off we go. Anyway, we better pay attention to what I'm doing. Whoops, wrong one. We still don't have any over 21s. I think if we can get a steam crane going, what I'd like to do, this road is finished. I mean, could we be cheeky and actually build the pump jack? I think I am going to build the pump jack. Let me just see what we're going to do is we're going to need, what does this actually need? This is concrete, gravel and asphalt. So if we put Titus Graham Roadworks in here, put the Titus bulk supply, we're going to need concrete from there as well. Put bulk supply on here. We'll just get this rumbling forward. You never know. We might, if we can get this built. I'm not sure if we can actually pick up the fuel from one of these pump jacks manually. Let's just take a look. Oh, it's got 15 tons of export. So if we can pull some of the oil out manually, we might be able to use it somehow. I actually quite like the idea of that. Got a little bit of crops coming in here. Got a tiny amount of crop in here. And we've got a little bit of crop in here. And we are waiting on steel. I'm not sure. I want to see whether I've actually got 1.92 tons of steel here. I just want to look at. We got crop collect on here. I can't remember whether I was set this up to move the steel manually or. So we're just going to take a quick look at this. It's not that one. Okay, New Hope board store. North Cape trading unload. Right. So you're picking up from the blacksmith. What we're going to do is drop you to 0 for the moment. So where are you? And how many? Yeah, you've got some open holes in here. Let's see what these guys. You're doing boards. You're doing boards. They're probably all doing boards. Yep. Okay. What we're going to do is push this up to about 80% because we need someone bringing some steel in. The alternative is that I grab an open hole from somewhere and just move it. Because I do really want to get this finished. Because this will make a big difference and make me feel a bit more comfortable with respect to the fact that we'd be totally sufficient, because we'd then be totally self-sufficient. I'm also thinking maybe another field in here as well, but let's see how things are going. None of these have started getting close. We're on the 5th of September at the moment. Let me just see what's going on over here. We're doing pretty well over here, and we're getting a fair amount of crops in here. I think for the moment we're just going to shut this down completely. We don't really need to export alcohol. We shouldn't be selling alcohol to the troops anyway. The morale's low enough and they've got enough desertions without us encouraging them. We'll probably be shot for destabilizing the incentives. Actually, we don't seem to have a road connection here. Oh, this could be a little bit annoying. Let me just see if I can. We're going to have to come there. We need to build that road connection there. This doesn't have a road connection either. So we're going to have to. This is because I was concentrating on building the main roads. So that's got no road connection here. We've got an oil tank out in the middle of nowhere. It's got no road connection. How can I connect this road up? Don't really want to fill this space in with roads. My instinct would be to either come to here or go out to there. I think we're go out to there. But considering this is a fuel tank, I want that to be gravelled. So can we see anything else that needs filling in? This is the other side of the, I think this is the gravel processing capability here. And that will then connect down to here. Truthfully, this should have an intermediate tower between it as well. I don't think there's much I can do about that, to be honest. Have a look here. Population is creeping up, but I don't really want to deflect into building another property, because what I'd like to do is have the property out here. Just trying to think. This is the edge of the village here. I'm just wondering if we put a bisecting road here, we can then, once this is finished, we can kind of build the village centre here, because this village might be a lot. Actually, no, it's not that far over, is it? We say put in a village shop here. We could build out the accommodation out this way, because I do want to use this coastline for a waterfront eventually. Has my steam truck wagon thing arrived yet? Let's see where he is. Steam crane. He's actually here, been allocated to here, although we can't. Well, there he is. So if we can actually get another 3 tons of steel into here, we could get this online, and that would make a big difference. You just need that steel moving up. What are we doing over here? Because patience is a virtue. Where are these guys dropping the steel off? New Hope Steel. No, you're actually just dropping the steel off here. And whatever steel we're finding is being picked up quite quickly. You're going to the boards. How are we doing here? We actually recovered any steel from here yet? Yeah, we've obviously picked up a little bit of steel, probably about 2 tons. Electricity problem over here. I must admit, with the new update, moving these messages up to here is really good, because what it does is it brings those notifications on your eye line down the bottom left hand corner. I find that I tend to miss them quite a lot. Yeah, we're back to here because our gravel is, wow, he delivered 150 tons of gravel that quickly. Now what we're going to do is have to wait about a year for them to build this road. That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't mind a steam excavator. I think I'll still rather prefer to wait for the B4s. You just take a look at the power overlay and see. So these guys are getting a little bit overloaded, but everything, kind of thinking that maybe we're now pushing everything a little bit too hard. But then it is the Civil War and life is a little bit rough. That is the way things are. I mean, life was tough during this period. Yeah, millions of people died, and the peasantry were beaten up from all sides because, I mean, they couldn't win because nobody was really on the side of the peasants. They were just seen as people that would provide food and anything else that the armies wanted to take. Whether they got left with enough food to live was unimportant from the great wider view of things, which is a little bit sad really, but I think that shows the sheer brutality of war. Got here, we actually got the crops in here, so we are kind of knocking the steel out, or they should be. Let me just see if we got the workers in here. Not store export plastics. Okay, so the plastics is being annoying again, but of course we can't export plastics because it's not relevant. So what we're going to do is just dump that. In fact, our up the sort of big all the electronics as well, because we're not manufacturing vehicles, so that should get us producing a little bit of steel. I just want to check something actually. We got 26 electronics here, so so we actually got 26 electronics in our economy. I've got absolutely no idea where they came from. We must have got them as freebies. Let's see. Have you got any electronics? No. Yeah, these guys have got 3 electronics. Well, the real test is over here, isn't it? Because this is all a new built area. And these guys have got 4 electronics. I'm not exactly sure where those electronics are coming from, because we're not distributing the electronics. It's almost like people are sneaking over here and stealing them without us looking. I mean, I could understand it here with the walking range, that someone may walk up there and pay a visit to the blacksmith and kind of walk off with some electronics, but I'm not overly sure how you could get electronics all the way out here, because we're not selling them in any shape, form or description. So let me just see here. Yeah, I mean, food wise we're kind of okay, but part of me would, I don't know, we should be okay. As long as we can keep the crops coming in, we're going to be fine. Famous last words. And the crops are coming in there. I'm very reluctant to try and really kick off anything else at the moment beyond building roads here. Looks like the road crews have already picked up. We've got our construction guy over here waiting for concrete. And I suppose if we can get that pump jack coming, would that mean that what we could do is build this small refinery, and we could actually bring the oil in by itself? But what we don't have here is actually a power connection, do we? Because we got power connections. Take a quick look. Oops. Maybe this is something we can take a look at, because the moment the power connection's there, and I don't think it, oh, it does reach. No, it doesn't. It doesn't quite reach the oil refinery. Plus, actually, I've just noticed it doesn't reach here. So we got an issue with that. And what we're going to need to do is bring in, we're going to have to put a power supply in about here, aren't we? Okay, so this is a little bit of an oversight. If we put a power in there, we'll build a mud road, save a little bit of inclination. Now, we've got that power line there, and what I'm kind of thinking is that when we get you off there, and what we're aiming for is about there, aren't we? So we'll have to kind of come through about there, and what do we, I suppose this is going to be steel, isn't it? Yeah, so I don't want to, can't really, can we start this building? Well, we can certainly get this underway. Put the Titus Road crew on, New Hope Road crew. It needs concrete, so we're going to need that. We're going to need the bulk supply as well, and we're going to need the steel con as well to get that working. But we won't actually build the cable until we've got that sorted. Yeah, we only need 1.8 tons of steel. Got a new combine. Okay. What's it? Anyone want to take a bet on the fact that it's going to be a US vehicle? And in fact, I can almost guarantee it is. Let me see. Yep, so harvesting. Oh no, we've got a people's powered harvesting machine, October 1919. Ooh. In some ways, I wouldn't mind getting a few of those, because at the moment we don't have any. Just have a comparison, because you've got to be a little bit careful with spending the money on harvester. This is level 16 faster. I think what we're going to be doing is upgrading these, but it's a bit late in the season now, considering the fact we're so dependent on crops. I think getting those harvesters in could be quite useful, but maybe we're putting a mixture just to try and have a little bit of balance, because a small community like this wouldn't be able to afford to equip the whole area with harvesters. But what we could do is possibly put, say, one in each farm, just to speed the process up. Because again, part of the problem is going to be is I'll be able to harvest faster, but I won't be able to, what can you say, collect the crops quick enough. Because I think this is going to be part of the problem here, that we're going to come in here. Did I completely fill this up? Yes, I have. Well, I mean, we're on the 15th of October. We've cleared these fields. Well, these fields are picking up. These fields haven't started harvesting yet, which is a little bit disappointing. Over here, we've literally cleared this area. We're just picking up what's left over now. And I think it's going to be... No, we're okay for storage, and we've got crops in here as well. So you can see we're not really picking up. My instinct is possibly to add another field to this farm, but where would we put it? Or possibly what we could do is actually build another farm and then extend it. When we could put in another field here and just kind of push it out. Again, rules, we can't use the what we call it, large fields, until we get collectivization. I think what we will do is just drop in that field there, and you again, we're just gonna, I think what we may need to do is start graveling up some of these roads as well. Just make sure, not a blacksmith, it's the little dinky little farm. This has been picked up. That now gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields, which I think is comparable with this, isn't it? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fields here. So that would give me 1,400 tons of crops per year. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That would give me 2,000 tons of crops per year, which is going to be tight. We've now got over 21s. Let me just see. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm not going to move the over 21s over to here. What we're going to do is just treat these over 21s as conscripts joining the army. One thing I am going to need to do is just regulate this population for the moment, because if I just keep letting the population expand, we will certainly run out of food very, very quickly. Just see how we're doing here. It looks like we've got crept another 2 tons in here. Apologies that this is being painful, but I just don't. I just want to stick within the concept that we're in the middle of the Civil War and life is very slow. It looks like we've had a delivery of steel here, so there's a good chance that we will get the charcoal kilns finished. We're out of steel again. And I think the stress is going to be a little bit too much nearly. And I think this is where I'm going to leave it. So what we're going to do is just go round and take a look at what's going on. This road is going to be a project for a long time. The road up here is now finished. I'm just going to get these guys off here because they seem to like being stuck in their ways. So we're just going to get rid of that road. That's now finished. The wood pitch plant just needs another 11 tons of steel, and we've got there, I mean, our forestry is going good. We've got the brick plant tucked in here, is producing bricks, which is really good. We've got this being built as, oh no we haven't, that's good. We need to get tighter steel bulk supply. What we can put here, we're going to need, we don't need concrete. I think that covers everything. We just need the workforce in here. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Construction, we're going to put the whole of that on there. I'll put those on there so that we can get that built. That's good. We've got this road connection's finished. That's good. I mean, getting all this connected up with steel piping is going to be a challenge at the moment. So we're going to have to guard our steel reserves very carefully. Pump jack here is working. I don't think we need the gravel production online just yet. It'd be really great to get this finished so that we can possibly produce a little bit of oil. Then we can work on the refinery here. Stop production. Got the heating plant here. And yeah, I think we'll be okay. We need just 0.13 tons of steel, and then we will have the charcoal kilns working. So we're getting there, but this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.